There was a point where my career was probably where it could be the best of. My career was at a place where I was content with, somewhere where I felt I was, somewhere I belong, but there was something missing. I couldn't figure out what it was. My wife and my daughter, they were my family in a place that wasn't home. And I knew what I had to do, and that was to take my family and make the biggest decision in my life and go back home where we belong, which is Fredericton. Fredericton is our home. So we took a big risk and we went home. I got a job at a car dealership. I don't know anything about cars. I was there for 2 months and I got fired. I got let go. I wasn't the right fit. Unemployment for about a year. That was not a proud moment as a sole provider of a family. And I got another job at a clothing store. The assistant manager turned to be a manager, and that wasn't the right fit either. You know, when it comes to a decision where you have to decide whether you give up and move back where you were, or you make a really big decision, where my wife just wanted to be home with her family. She made a Facebook post.
I'm amazed by how welcoming and how comfortable they make you feel here. It's refreshing and I feel emotional just thinking about it.
She wanted to go to church. I never grew up with a church. I never grew up going to church. She made a Facebook post asking, where should we go? We want to go to a church, and we just want to fit. We want to belong. We want to have a better purpose. Where and what should we do? She got over 100 replies. There were many churches offered, one of which stood out as Sunset Church. I wasn't a believer. I didn't understand why a church would matter. I didn't understand it. And she went, and the emotion that she had when she came home was something I never witnessed from her. She cried in the car, expressing her emotions of, she felt so wanted, she felt so open and felt at peace. And she felt like there was a purpose. She felt like there was people there that cared and mattered. And the church did this online streaming service. So she showed me it.
But sometimes that healing process does take a little time, and yes, there may be some scars. And it's incredible, but you know, restoration, that most often when something's restored, it's actually even better than it first was. Somehow he takes all the broken pieces and he says, I'm going to still take what is here now and what is left, and I'm going to restore it, and it's going to be even better than it once was. But sometimes that healing process does take a little bit of time, and yes, there may be some scars.
Worship music that I never even knew existed. It was music I enjoyed, music that I used to play. Maybe not the same melodies, but the chord progressions were there. The energy, the passion, that was all there. I was hooked. I was interested. I was excited, and I wanted to go. So the following week, all four of us went to church. And she told the people that I was coming. So when I walked into that door of that church, I felt welcomed instantly. I was with people that were organically and naturally excited to see me. This isn't something I'm normally used to. I felt loved. I felt at peace. I said this before because this is how it felt at the time, but it felt fake, like that person in front of me that was so happy and genuine. It didn't feel normal to me. It felt out of place because I'm not used to it. It was beautiful. For the first time in my life, I took my pride and I set it aside because there's a greater purpose that I didn't even know yet. This is a new relationship that I was going to start building. It wasn't a religion, it was a relationship that I was missing. A relationship with Christ. I never, ever thought that this was going to be in my life, but here it was. And I just needed to be invited. I say all this because at the bottom of my life, where I didn't feel belong, I didn't feel like I had a purpose, and I was unsure of what was next. Not for me, but as a provider for my family, what was next. Becoming a Christian is what I needed. I needed to have a relationship with God because I was able to use the gifts that God gave me to do incredible things for others. And somebody saw those gifts and reached out to me and asked if I knew anything about audio. I went to school for it. That's what I took in school. So I got my career. I found a home. I got our first house purchased. And we have another baby on the way. None of this would have happened the way it did, how naturally, if it wasn't for this church, if it wasn't for my relationship with Christ. I'm blessed. I have a blessed life. I've got an incredible wife, a stay-at-home mom who just gives everything to her children. She volunteers at church in the kids department. The children are our future. My children are going to grow up in a place that they're going to feel like they belong. I'm surrounded by people who love us, and I just want to share. Because at one point, I was lost and I thought I had my life figured out because I thought I was right. We don't know where we're going. There's only one. God knows. We have to put our trust in God. He's reaching. We just have to reach back. This is my story. Thank you for watching. Invite somebody to church. Invite somebody to church. It could change their life like it did mine.